Yes, sir.
Okay, so in this session, totally, I'm going to discuss with you about the content pane and total architecture and a little bit of discussion about the AOT objects. And so we will see internal architecture like a client server architecture in this session. Okay, so you are able to see my screen. So in this screen, you are going to see the one module user interface. Suppose let's change the module, so here we have an option to change the module. Okay, we can be able to move to one module to another module. So this is the area where we can use this option. So let's move to the human resource management. So right now we are in human resource management module. So in this module we have common inquiries, periodic reports, and setup is there. That means every module contains every module contains these minimum blocks, like a common will be there, setup will be there, periodic inquiries and reports. So every block contains their own information, so let's take common thing. Okay, so in the common we have a commonly used forms. We can able to set it up here. Commonly used forms means like a end user daily, they will do some transactions, right? So those kind of entries, like we can able to place in the common area. Okay, so inquiries. So here we can able to find on some particular criteria basis. Suppose I need to find out some information of this particular month, of this particular year, so of this particular employee. So on some criteria basis, information will be we can able to get it up here in the inquiries node. Okay, in the reports, obviously we will have a reports. Okay, SSRS reports will be placed in this report section. And when it comes to the periodic, so periodic will be like so periodical basis actions, so so the salary calculation, for example, salary calculation will be there. Okay, so the salary will be calculated for a particular period of time. Okay, and salary hikes, and so everything, calculating the leaves, calculating the loan information. So that kind of issues. So it is a periodical actions. Okay, this will not. In this section, majorly we will place if it is a periodical basis action. So we will place in the periodic section. So when it comes to the setup node, so it's very important node, setup node. In this setup node, we will have parameters, like a parameter in the sense, to run the module successfully. Okay, this in this parameter, in this setup node, we will have a parameters. Like suppose I have some constraints in my organization. So I want to process only two kind of loans. One is car loan, one is house loan. Okay, those kind of information we will place here. Means it is a master kind of data. Okay, master information. So loan information, leaves information, courses. Okay, so if you see here, payroll information, sites and services. Okay, compensation. So these are the setups actually. So setups kind of information we will place here. Okay, if you see parameters, okay, in the parameter node we will have a parameter form will be there. In the parameter form, basically we can able to set up the parameters, means raw values. Suppose I have a uh, one issue called so I want to process a particular employee's resumes. Okay, I want to I'm going to recruit some post into my organization. So in this recruitment, I want to consider one issue called age information. Okay, so if the employee age is below 18, I don't want to process that particular resume. So when okay, so when I'm going to tracking my total details into my system of that particular employee, okay, so here I cannot write blindly hard coding in the back end. So if the age is less than 18, okay, so this resume will not be processed kind of thing. So here I will create a field. Okay, in that field I will save 18 value. So in future, if I want to change the value, I can change here. Okay, whenever you have created a field here, whenever you set up that particular value here, so you no need to hard code in your backend. So dynamically you can get the value here from this table. So this is the reason, okay, we will have a parameter form. Okay, mostly parameter form will be useful for setting the hard coded values. Okay, in no way. Okay, so in our entire AX environment we don't want to do any hard coding. So if you want to do any hard coding kind of thing, okay, so here we have a parameter form is there. Here we need to create a field. In that field we will save the value. Directly we will use that value wherever you required. So in future, if the client wants to change the value from 18 to 20, so here the value will be changed. But if you hard code in the coding level, so the client doesn't go into the coding and he cannot change the value from 18 to 20. So that is the reason. So here the parameter form is very important thing here. Okay, setups will be the same usage, entire module. So here we have a companies list is there. Okay, here we have a legal entities, nothing but we can call it as a legal entities. So these legal entities will be created in the system administration module. In the system administration module we have a organization administration we have
organization administration. Yeah.
Okay, organization administration we have a organization is there. Okay, in the legal entities we will have a feasibility to create the company. So when you create a company here, so we need to set some parameters like some information about company logo and the general information, address. So everything we will set up here. So when you create, after creating your company, just you need to close your AX environment, total AX environment. Otherwise, you cannot see your company in the companies list here. Okay, understand? In anything, like suppose if you added a form, or if you added a report here in the content pane, or if you added a one module here, if you added a company, so must and should we need to close the total AX application and we need to reopen. Then only you can able to see your changes in the user interface. Okay, so this is what about the content pane and all. So when it comes to the development area, so this is completely called developer area. Okay, so in this developer area we have a complete architecture. Okay, so complete nodes we have under.
Ravi, sorry, can you show me like how did you go to the development area?
So we have two options. Okay, so already now there is a new development workspace is there. Okay, here new development workspace, or else you can press Ctrl D. If you press Ctrl D, automatically you will be navigating to developer area. So here we have a AOT, application object tree. So in this application object tree we have so many nodes. Okay, these are data dictionary, tool, system documentation. We have several nodes are there. So these nodes are fixed. So if you want to add one more node here, that is not possible. Okay, and also deletion, updation, these kind of things are not possible when it comes to the node issue. Okay, when you expand the node, you will have again tables to perspectives are there. Okay, these are also fixed. You cannot able to add one more node in the data dictionary. Okay, if you expand the tables, okay, so here we have a complete tables we have. So whatever the tables they have used for total AX development, the total tables we can able to see in the table node. Here we can able to customize the objects. See, data dictionary is a node, table is a node, and under the tables node we have a table objects are there. Just to find out the terminology difference. Data dictionary is a node, table is a node. Under the tables we have a table objects. Okay, so if you want to change the, if you want to modify, if you want to update, if you want to rename, if you want to delete, everything is possible. But nodes we cannot change. Okay, if you want to create a new table also, we can able to create. Okay, so basically the data dictionary, tables, maps, views, extended data, these nodes we can call it as a project group type. The name itself called as a project group type. So these are all project group types. So these project group types names doesn't change anywhere. Okay, so in this AOT we cannot change. Basically, suppose if you want to develop a table or if you want to develop a form report, so exactly this is the area where we can create. So suppose if you create a table, ultimately that a table will be created in the table node. Okay, so table node here. So these are all completely called application tables. Yesterday I have discussed about the tables no concept. Like tables are two types basically. So one is system tables, second one is application tables. System tables we cannot change and we cannot create. Whatever the tables we have, okay, those tables, the system tables will be available in the system documentation. See here, there is a table node is available. Here these are the system tables. Okay, these tables we cannot edit. Okay, directly we can use the tables. Okay, and also these are the application tables, whatever we have seen here. Okay, these are the application tables. So these application tables we can change. Okay, so here the major thing is in our total dynamics AX environment, table is the major object. After then the major object is class. Only two objects are there, table and class. Okay, these are the global objects in our total dynamics AX environment. Table and one more object is called class. These are the major objects.
Tiger,
Remaining
can we
objects.
able to see the system tables data?
No, system tables directly we can use the tables, but we cannot see the data. Okay, and when it comes to the AOT criteria, okay, about AOT. Okay, so in this AOT we have so many nodes are there. Every node has some particular criteria is there. Every node has its own functionality. Okay, suppose the classes. So if you have a bulk logic or a vast logic, okay, then you can go for the class creation. Suppose there is a forms here, we can able to create the forms, parts, SSRS reports we can able to create here, menus, menu items. So many things are there. So most of the objects we will see in our training. Okay, and so here let me explain you about something about the user interface forms. So let me open the organization, let me open the human resource management. Okay, here, so we have so many things are there. Total, this content pane having three kind of objects. Okay, let me open a notepad or totally we have the content pane having three kind of objects. Okay, three kind of let's say you can let's say totally the content pane having three kind of objects. One is forms, okay, and second one is reports, third one is dialogues. So only these three kind of objects we will have in the content pane. No other object will be there. Either you can able to place the form, either you can able to place the report, either you can place the dialog box. Only three kind of objects we will have in the content pane. Let's say totally in the common area we will have forms. Total in the common area we will have forms. In the reports totally we have reports. Okay. So the forms will be okay. So the forms will be available in the common, okay, common area, and so remaining except reports we will have forms in all areas like common, periodic, okay, setup, okay, and okay, periodic, okay, setup, and inquiries. Inquiries also mostly we will have forms and the dialog boxes. Okay, so especially reports available only in the report section. Only report section. Okay, in the dialog boxes mostly we will have, okay, periodic and inquiries. Mostly we will place the dialog boxes in the periodic and the inquiries. So forms will be placed in the common, periodic, setup, and inquiries. Forms will be available, okay, and only reports will be placed in the report section. Okay, suppose if you create a report, okay, so that report we cannot able to place in the periodic or inquiries or common. So only your report will be set it up in the report section only. Okay, so the forms will be available in the common, inquiries, periodic, and setup. Okay, so dialog boxes will be available in the periodic and inquiries mostly. Okay, so totally forms we can call it as a, okay, forms we can call it as a display menu item. Okay, reports we can call it as a output menu item. Okay, dialog boxes we can call it as a action menu item. Okay, so only we have three kind of objects: display, output, action. I will show you in the AOT. So if you go to menu items, there is a display, output, action. Only three kind of objects. No way. Okay, there is no fourth object. Only we have three kind of objects. Means I will tell you how exactly what about a display, what about output, and what about action. Suppose you have developed a form, and if you want to set up that form in the user interface, let's say if you want to set up that form in the common or inquiries or periodic or setup or wherever it is, okay, suppose after developing your form, directly you will drag and drop that form into the display, then it will be converted as a menu item. Okay, so your menu item will be, we can able to place in the user interface. Directly we cannot set the form in the user interface. Just understand the simple logic here. Suppose you have developed a form, you have created a form. So if you want to set up that form in the user interface or content pane, directly forms are not allowed to set up in the user interface. In between, that form should be converted as a menu item. Suppose if you develop a form, that should be drag and drop into the display menu item. Okay, whenever you drag and drop that form into the display menu item, automatically that will convert it as a menu item, display menu item. See here, so these are all our forms. So after developing your form, we need to drag and drop into the display. See, the object type is, see here, object type is form, and this is the object name. Okay, so then only we can able to place in the user interface. Okay, suppose if you develop a report, okay, so the same thing, reports cannot, we cannot able to place directly in the user interface. We need to convert that report as a output menu item, output. So here we need to drag and drop. Suppose if you developed a dialog box, so that dialog box we need to drag and drop in the action pane. So in the action, so that will convert it as a menu item. So only menu items we can able to place in the user interface. Okay, only menu items.
Ravi, can you show us what are the dialogue and action? Like what is subject?
I will show you.
How to spell?
I will show you. Okay, only menu items can be placed in the content pane. Menu items means display, output, action, right? We have seen here menu items. Only display, output, action means we can able to place forms, we can able to place reports, we can able to place dialog boxes. Only these three kind of objects we can able to place in the user interface. Okay, so okay, let's come to the form. See, suppose let it be open. Let me open the courses. Here we have a course groups is there. See, basically I have opened a form here. Basically this object type is menu item. This object type is menu item. Okay, already we have created a form. This form has converted as a menu item. Now this one is the menu item. Now see this one, course groups, everything is menu item. Whatever you are seeing in the user interface content pane, okay, so everything we can call it as a menu item. Everything is menu item. But in that menu item we have three categorizations, like one is display, one is action, one is output. So display means forms, action means dialog box, output means report. Just the name is going to be indicating here display, so only it is going to display the information, means form will be displaying your information. Output means a result, which object will give you the result, only the report will give you the result. Okay, so action means dialog box, so in the dialog box we will give some criteria and we will execute that one, that will perform some action. So dialog boxes will be action, reports will be output, form will be display. So that is what the explanation of the menu items. Okay, so let me open the course groups form. So basically we can call it as a display menu item. This one is a display menu item. Forms means we can call it as a form also. Okay, so this is about the form. Okay, so if you see this form, the object name should be always menu item. I will show you that. What is the form name? Course groups, right? Let's go to AOT. Go to AOT, and that form will be available in the menus, HRM module. Okay, so setup, there is a courses and there is a course groups, right? See here, what is the menu item type? Display and menu item name. See, already this course groups form already we have developed in the forms. Here we have already developed that form, already developed here. After developing your form, we have drag and drop that form into the display menu item. Now we are going to attaching here, that's it. Simply after developing your objects like a form or report or dialog box, we need to drag and drop, just a drag and drop into the respective menu item. That will convert as a menu item. Now you can able to attach that menu item to the content pane. So here the total modules list will be available: account payable, account receivables, budgeting, cash and bank management, HRM module, and inventory management, payroll. Everything we have here. Okay, see here we can able to add your menu item. Automatically that will be reflected in the user interface. Okay. So when it comes to the okay, so again I will explain you about the menu items, don't worry, and let's just understand very smoothly here, like so this is about, okay, this is the form actually. So in this form basically we have one grid control is there, and two button controls are there, new and delete button. Okay, so every form having file menu option, by default it will come. So the developer cannot edit this one, and we cannot able to create automatically. Whenever you develop a form, so automatically this file menu will come. Okay, here also we have a new button is there. Okay, save, delete record, edit, print, export to Excel, everything we have. So additionally sometimes we need to create see already we have here also we have a new and delete button. These buttons we have created, the developer has created this new and delete button. By default even single button we cannot able to by default we don't get any single button here. Okay, we need to create. If you want, default buttons are new button, delete, save, record, edit, export, refresh, and these are the default buttons. Okay, so the default buttons will come up when you create a form. But if you want to create additionally,
Ravi, so that means the top the new and delete course types buttons, they will not appear, but on the file menu, like the default, that will be coming up, right?
yes,
If at all we develop any form.
new and delete button, these buttons, new and delete button,
Yeah. Delete and course type, so they will not appear, like by default they will not appear, right?
They will not. Okay, these buttons directly when you create a form, these buttons directly we cannot. The system won't create.
Okay.
Okay, by default it will not come up. Okay,
By default file will be coming up, right? The file will be set up by default.
by default file we have.
Okay. Under file we still have that new, delete, and all those options under the file menu, right?
Additionally, why we are creating here means we are going to simplify the interactions, that's it. Anyway we have a new button is there, anyway we have a delete button is there. Whatever the new and delete is doing the same functionality, here also new and delete will do the same functionality. There is no zero difference, there is no difference actually. Okay, so whatever the file menu we have, so the same operations if you want you can able to set it up here, but it will be somewhat easy for the end user. So always they will go to file menu and clicking on the new button or delete button. So so that is the reason we will create the above grid. Okay, so by default for every form majorly we will have at least one grid control. Mostly in Dynamics AX environment we will use the grid controls. Means grid will show your entire data. Grid means like it shows like a Excel sheet, rows and columns. Okay, rows and columns. So okay, this is one type of form. In AX environment, this is only the simplest form. Only okay, like these forms. Okay, this kind of forms are very simple. This is only the simplest form in the AX environment. So let's move to another form, course types. This is one more form. Left side there is a grid control. Okay, right side there is a details. So whenever you are going to selecting the record, okay, so it automatically it's changing the information on the right side. Okay, this is one kind of template. Previously we have seen simple form. Okay, and when it comes to the parameter form, this is one kind of form. Left side there is a tab pages, general tab page, recruitment tab page, compensation, number sequence. These are the tab pages. So when you are selecting the tab page, automatically whatever the relevant information we have, so that information we are going to seeing here. Okay, this is one kind of template. Okay, let me show you the employee form. See here, this is one kind of form. So it's look very so confusion and very heavy, this form. So in this form we have majorly 4 sections. So one is grid control. Okay, one is grid control. On top of grid control we have a action pane. Action pane is completely relevant to buttons. Okay, so right side of your grid control we have a info parts. Right side of your grid control, worker loans, worker skills, tax registration, worker goals, these are all called info parts. Okay, okay, so bottom of your grid, so it is called, okay, preview pane. Okay, so totally we have 4 sections. Okay, so one is action pane. This action pane we will use it for creating the button controls. Suppose if you have a more number of button controls you have, so you can able to create the action pane and you will use it like this. So this action pane contains like action pane tabs. These are all action pane tabs. Okay, so every action pane tab contains one button group. Button group means there is a small vertical line is there. Okay, in between 2 vertical lines, that will be called as a button group. In that button group we will have buttons. Okay, means let me explain here. Action pane. So under that action pane we have, okay, action pane tabs. Okay, under that action pane tabs, okay, we have button groups. Okay, under that button groups we have button controls. Understand the thing here? Okay, we have a action pane. We have a action pane, total action pane. So under that action pane we have action pane tabs. So this ribbon control, total ribbon control, we can call it as a action pane. Under that action pane, worker is a action pane tab, competencies tab, payroll tab, okay, compensation action pane tab. So these are all called action pane tabs. Under that action pane tab, what we have? Button groups. Button group means, so worker, hire new worker is a one, okay, new is a button group, maintain is a button group, personal action is a button group, position assignment, related information, attachment, list. These are all button groups. Under that button group we have button controls. Okay, in the maintain we have edit, edit in grid, new case, image, delete. These 5 buttons we have under the maintain button group. Okay, so personal actions. In this button group we have 4 buttons. So this is what about the action pane. Action pane mostly we will use for the setting the button controls in a particular form. Okay, so after then coming to the grid, grid will show your grid will contain your information, contain your data, and here we have a filter controls. Filter controls. Okay, it's a search kind of thing. Suppose if I want to search on personal number, like I want 000021 record, so just type here 21, press enter, automatically it will filter your data. Okay, just delete and enter. Okay, so whenever you are selecting the information here in the grid control, so automatically the data is going to be changing here when you observe here in the worker loans. So these are all called info parts: worker loans, worker skills, tax registration information, worker goals, position assignments. These are all called info parts. Info parts means already we have this particular employee. I want to see the particular employee loan information. So again, I need to navigate to that particular form and I need to verify the information. Suppose if I set that information as a info part in this particular form, so no need to go to that form, and so easily we can able to view the particular employee loan information, skills information, tax registration information. So at a time we can able to view the total information about the particular employee. Okay, by developing the info parts. Okay, to develop the info part also we require a table, we require a form, and everything is required, but that will be converted as a info part, that information. And also, okay, suppose if you have a multiple record information, so that will be converted as info part. If you have a single record information, we can able to show in the preview pane. See here, suppose I have selected a Ellen Steiner, so Ellen Steiner title will be only one, right? Title will be, so designation will be only one, sales manager. So it is one information, one record information. So but here if you select Ellen Steiner having loans 2, so multiple records. So that is the reason, if I have that kind of information, I will develop a info part. If I have only one record level information, I will show you. Okay, I will show in the preview pane the same information. Okay, this is what about, okay, action pane, info parts, preview pane, and grid control and filters. Okay, let's come to the okay. So majorly we have these kind of forms we have. So mostly we have form templates we have. So if you create it directly, if you develop a form template, automatically we can able to design that kind of forms. Okay, by using the form templates we can able to create that kind of information. Okay, so when it comes to the architecture part, so we have a completely 3-tier architecture. We have 3-tier architecture means this is a client server architecture. Client means whatever the application you are seeing, this is called completely client environment. Means, so the client application will be divided into 2 things here. One is development workspace, second one is, okay, a client workspace. Okay, so we have 3 things we have. Okay, Okay, client workspace. No, so client. Second one is the AOS. Okay, third one is database. So we have three levels of architecture we have. So the client, AOS and database. Here the client means completely whatever the application you are seeing. So this one and this one we can call it as a client application. Okay, content pane. Okay, this user interface and this interface we can call it as a client application, client environment. So AOS we cannot able to see. Okay, AOS is a engine, and in this engine AOS we will perform, so whatever the actions we are going to doing from the client application, so uh, uh, this will communicate with the AOS, and it will update it in the database level. So the AOS we cannot see. AOS is a particular basic engine. Okay, this engine will perform the business logic. Okay, a database obviously whatever the tables we are going to creating, whatever the data we are inserting in the forms or tables in the AX environment, that will go to directly database tables and sit in the database level. So already I have discussed about this one. Okay, let me explain one more time. So the client server architecture means the like 1 second. Okay, so client and AOS and database. So the client application will be divided into two areas. One is workspace, and second one is development workspace. New workspace and development workspace. New workspace means this one. The client people will access this area. Okay, developer will access this area. This is called client application. Okay, and AOS already I told you. So AOS will perform the total business logic, whatever you are doing from the client application. Suppose you are inserting a record in a particular form. Okay, so that record will be needs to save in the database level. So the AOS will validate your information, then AOS will give the instruction to save in the database level. Okay, so AOS will act as a mediator between the client and the database. So AOS is the engine. Okay, in this engine the business logic will be performed under the AOS level. Okay, these three components, whenever we are going to installing the product, okay, we will install these products, these components. I will show you that. So whenever we are going to installing the product, so these three components mostly we will install it. Okay, this is the setup installation part. Exactly. So we are going to select in the database, and we are going to select in the AOS, and we are going to select in the client application. So these three components, okay, we are selecting and we are installing. So that means we are installing in a single machine. Okay, total these three components. It's a standalone installation. See here, if you read this information for a Microsoft Dynamics AX system, we recommended that you install components in the following sequence to minimize the configuration changes: database, application object server, and client. Okay, so client will database is required for to save your tables and information. So application object server is an engine, and it will going to perform your business logic, and the client for the user interaction purpose. These three components majorly we are installing. Okay,